Helena's father, Gérard de Narbon, a famous physician, has recently died, leaving her in the care of the Countess of Rossillion. The Countess's only son, Bertram, is leaving to serve the King of France, who is very ill. Bertram, accompanied by an old lord, Lafeu, takes leave of his mother.
Madam, I desire your holy wishes.
Be thou blessed, Bertram, and succeed thy father in manners as in shape. Thy blood and virtue contend for empire in thee, and thy goodness share with thy birthright. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Be able for thine enemy rather in power than use, and keep thy friend under thine own life's key. Be checked for silence, but never taxed for speech. What heaven more will that thee may furnish, and my prayers plucked down fall on thy head. Farewell, my lord. 'Tis an unseasoned courtier. Good my lord, advise him.
He cannot want the best that shall attend his love.
Heaven bless him. Farewell, Bertram.
The best wishes that can be forged in your thoughts be servants to you. Helena, be comfortable to my mother, your mistress, and make much of her. Farewell.
Farewell, pretty lady. You must hold the credit of your father.
Oh, were that all? I think not on my father. I have forgot him. My imagination carries no favor in't but Bertram's. I am undone. There is no living, none if Bertram be away. 'Twere all one that I should love a bright particular star and think to wed it, he is so above me. In his bright radiance and collateral light must I be comforted, not in his sphere. The ambition in my love thus plagues itself. The hind that would be mated by the lion must die for love. 'Twas pretty, though a plague, to see him every hour, to sit and draw his arched brows, his hawking eye, his curls in our heart's table, heart too capable of every line and trick of his sweet favor. But now he's gone, and my idolatrous fancy must sanctify his relics. Who comes here? One that goes with him. I love him for Bertram's sake, and yet I know him a notorious liar, think him a great way fool, solely a coward. Monsieur Parolles! You were born under a charitable star.
Under Mars, aye.
I especially think under Mars.
Why under Mars?
The wars have so kept you under that you must needs be born under Mars.
When he was predominant.
When he was retrograde, I think, rather.
Why think you so?
You go so much backward when you fight.
That's for advantage.
So he's running away when fear proposes the safety.
I'm so full of business I cannot answer thee acutely. Get thee a good husband, and use him as he uses thee. So farewell.
Our remedies oft in ourselves do lie, which we ascribe to heaven. The fated sky gives us free scope, only doth backward pull our slow designs when we ourselves are dull. Impossible be strange attempts to those that weigh their pains in sense, and do suppose what hath been cannot be. Who ever strove to show her merit that did miss her love? The king's disease. My project may deceive me, but my intents are fixed and will not leave me.
What's he comes here?
It is the Count Rossillion, your majesty. Young Bertram.
Youth. thou bear'st thy father's face. Frank nature, rather curious than in haste, hath well composed thee. Thy father's moral parts mayst thou inherit too. Welcome to Paris.
My thanks and duty are your majesty's.
I would I had that corporal soundness now, as when thy father and myself in friendship first tried our soldiership. Let me not live, quoth he, after my flame lacks oil to be the snuff of younger spirits, whose apprehensive senses all but new things disdain, whose judgments are mere fathers of their garments, whose constancies expire before their fashions. How long is't, Count, since the physician at your father's died? He was much famed.
Some 6 months since, my lord.
Mm-hmm. If he were living, I would try him yet. Lend me an arm. Oh, the rest have worn me out with several applications. Nature and sickness debated at their leisure. Welcome, Count. My son's no dearer.
Thank your majesty.
What is your pleasure, madam?
You know, Helen, I am a mother to you.
Mine honourable mistress.
Nay, a mother. Why not a mother? When I said a mother, methought you saw a serpent. What's the matter? That this distempered messenger of wet, this many-coloured iris rounds thine eye. Why, that you are my daughter.
That I am not.
I say I am your mother.
Pardon, madam. The Count Rossillion cannot be my brother. I am from humble, he from honoured name. My master, my dear lord he is, and I his servant live, and will his vassal die. He must not be my brother.
What pale again? My fear hath catched your fondness. Now I see the mystery of your loneliness, and find your salt tears head. Now to all sense 'tis gross, you love my son.
Good madam, pardon me.
Do you love my son?
Your pardon, noble mistress.
Love you my son?
Do not you love him, madam?
Go not about. My love hath into bond whereof the world takes note. Come, come, disclose the state of your affection, for your passions have to the full appeached.
Then I confess, here on my knee before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven I love your son. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love for loving where you do.
Had you not lately an intent, speak truly, to go to Paris?
Madam, I had.
Wherefore? Tell true.
I will tell true, by grace itself I swear. You know my father left me some prescriptions of rare and proved effects, such as his reading and manifest experience had collected for general sovereignty. Amongst the rest, there is a remedy approved, set down, to cure the desperate languishings whereof the king is rendered lost.
This was your motive for Paris, was it? Speak.
My lord, your son made me to think of this. Else Paris and the medicine and the king had from the conversation of my thoughts happily been absent then.
But think you, Helen, if you should tender your supposed aid, he would receive it? He and his physicians are of a mind. He that they cannot help him, they that they cannot help. How shall they credit a poor unlearned virgin, when the schools emboweled of their doctrine have left off the danger to itself?
There's something in't, more than my father's skill, which was the greatest of his profession, that his good receipt shall for my legacy be sanctified by the luckiest stars of heaven. And would your honour but give me leave to try success, I'll venture the well-lost life of mine on his grace's cure by such a day and hour.
Dost thou believed?
Aye, madam, knowingly.
Why, Helen, thou shalt have my leave and love, means and attendance, and my loving greetings to those of mine in court. I'll stay at home and pray God's blessing into thy attempt. Be gone tomorrow, and be sure of this, what I can help thee to, thou shalt not miss.
This is his majesty. Say your mind to him. A traitor you do look like, but such traitors his majesty seldom fears. I am Cressid's uncle, that dare leave two together. Fare you well.
Now, fair one, does your business follow us?
Aye, my good lord. Gerard de Narbon was my father. In what he did profess, well found.
I knew him.
The rather will I spare my praises towards him, knowing him is enough. On's bed of death, many receipts he gave me, chiefly one, which, as the dearest issue of his practice and of his old experience, the only darling, he bade me store up as a triple eye, safer than mine own too. More dear I have so. And, hearing your high majesty is touched with that malignant cause wherein the honour of my dear father's gift stands chief in power, I come to tender it and my appliance with all bound humbleness.
We thank you, maiden, but may not be so credulous of cure when our most learned doctors leave us, and the congregated college have concluded that labouring art can never ransom nature from her inaidable estate. Thou thought'st to help me, and such thanks I give as one near death to those that wish him live. But what at full I know, thou knowest no part. I, knowing all my peril, thou no art.
What I can do no hurt to try, since you set up your rest 'gainst remedy. He that of greatest works is finisher oft does them by the weakest minister.
I must not hear thee. Fare thee well, kind maid.
Dear sir, to my endeavours give consent. Of heaven, not me, make an experiment. I am not an impostor that proclaim myself against the level of mine aim, but know I think, and think I know most sure, my art is not past power, nor you past cure.
Art thou so confident? Within what space hopest thou my cure?
The greatest grace lending grace, ere twice the horses of the sun shall bring their fiery torture his diurnal ring, ere twice in murk and occidental damp moist Hesperus hath quenched his sleepy lamp, or 24 times the pilot's glass hath told the thievish minutes how they pass. What is infirm from your sound parts shall fly, health shall live free, and sickness freely die.
Upon thy certainty and confidence, what darest thou venture?
My maiden's name seared otherwise, nay worse, of worst extended with vilest torture, let my life be ended.
Methinks in thee some blessed spirit doth speak his powerful sound within an organ weak. Thy life is dear, for all that life can rate worth, name of life in thee hath estimate. Youth, beauty, wisdom, courage, all that happiness and prime can happy call, thou this to hazard needs must intimate, skill infinite, or monstrous desperate. Sweet practicer, thy physic I will try, that ministers thine own death if I die.
If I break time or flinch in property of what I spoke unpitied, let me die, and well deserved, not helping, death's my fee. But if I help, what do you promise me?
Make thy demand.
But will you make it even?
Aye, by my sceptre and my hopes of heaven.
Then shalt thou give me with thy kingly hand what husband in thy power I will command.
Here is my hand. The premises observed, thy will by my performance shall be served. Give me some help here, ho. If thou proceed as high as word, my deed shall match thy deed.
ages are past, and we have our philosophical persons to make modern and familiar things supernatural and causeless.
Here comes the king. Mort de vinaigre. Is this not Helen?
For God, I think so.
Go, call before me all the lords in court.
My lords, approach.
Sit, my preserver, by thy patient side, and with this healthful hand, whose banished sense thou hast repealed, a second time receive the confirmation of my promised gift, which but attends thy naming. Fair maid, send forth thine eye. This youthful parcel of noble bachelors stand at my bestowing, for whom both sovereign power and father's voice I have to use. Thy frank election make, thou hast power to choose, and they none to forsake.
Gentlemen, heaven hath through me restored the king to health. I am a simple maid, and therein wealthiest that I protest I simply am a maid. Please it, your majesty, I have done already. The blushes in my cheeks thus whisper me, we blush that thou shouldst choose, but be refused. Let the white death sit on thy cheek forever, we'll ne'er come there again.
Make choice and see. Who shuns thy love, shuns all his love in me.
I dare not say I take you, but I give me and my service ever whilst I live into your guiding power. This is the man.
Why then, young Bertram, take her. She's thy wife.
My wife, my liege? I shall beseech your highness, in such a business, give me leave to use the help of mine own eyes. I know her well. She had her breeding at my father's charge. A poor physician's daughter, my wife. Disdain rather corrupt me ever. I cannot love her, nor will strive to do it.
Thou wrongest thyself if thou shouldst strive to choose.
And you are well restored, my lord. I'm glad. Let the rest go.
My honour's at the stake, which to defeat I must produce my power. Here, take her hand. Proud, scornful boy, unworthy this good gift, that dost in vile misprision shackle up my love and her desert, check thy contempt. Obey our will, which travails in thy good.
Pardon, my gracious lord, for I submit my fancy to your eyes. When I consider what great creation and what dole of honor flies where you bid it.
Take her by the hand, and tell her she is thine. To whom I promise a counterpoise, if not to thy estate a balance more replete.
I take her hand.
Yes. Good fortune and the favor of the king smile upon this contract, whose ceremony shall seem expedient on the now born brief and be performed tonight. The solemn feast shall more attend upon the coming space, expecting absent friends. As thou lovest her, thy love's to me religious, else does err.
Undone and forfeited to cares forever.
What's the matter, sweetheart?
Although before the solemn priest I have sworn, I will not bid her.
What? What, sweetheart?
Oh, my parole, they have married me. I'll to the Tuscan wars and never bid her.
France is a dog hole, and it no more merits the tread of a man's foot. To the wars! He wears his honor in a box unseen that hugs his kicky-wicky here at home, spending his manly marrow in our arms that should sustain the bound and high curvet of Mars's fiery steed. To other regions, France is a stable. We that dwell in't jades. Therefore, to the wars!
It shall be so. I'll send her to my house, acquaint my mother with my hate to her, and wherefore I am fled. Write the king that which I durst not speak. His present gift shall furnish me to those Italian fields where noble fellows strike. War is no strife to the dark house and the detested wife.
Will this capriccio hold in the archer?
Go with me to my chamber and advise me. I'll send her straight away. Tomorrow, I'll to the wars. She to her single sorrow.
Why, these balls bound, there's noise in it. 'Tis hard a young man married as a man that's marred. Therefore away and leave her bravely. Go, the king hath done you wrong. But hush, 'tis so.
But I hope your lordship thinks not Parolles a soldier.
Yes, Lafeu, and a very valiant approof.
You have it from his own deliverance.
And by other warranted testimony.
Then my dial goes not true. I took this lark for a bunting.
I do assure you, my lord, he is very great in knowledge, and accordingly valiant.
Here he comes.
These things shall be done, sir.
Is she gone to the king?
She is,
Will she away tonight?
as you'll have her.
Fare you well, my lord, and believe this of me, there can be no kernel in this light nut. The soul of this man is his clothes. Trust him not in matters of heavy consequence. I have kept of them tame and know their natures. Farewell, monsieur. I've spoken better of you than you have or will to deserve at my hand, but we must do good against evil.
An idle lord, I swear.
I think so. Here comes my clog.
I have, sir, as I was commanded from you, spoke with the king and have procured his leave for present parting. Only he desires some private speech with you.
I shall obey his will. You must not marvel, Helen, at my course, which holds not colour with the time, nor does the ministration and required office on my particular. Prepared I was not for such a business. Therefore am I found so much unsettled. This drives me to entreat you that presently you take your way for home, and rather muse than ask why I entreat you. For my respects are better than they seem, and my appointments have in them a need greater than shows itself at the first view to you that know them not. This to my mother. 'Twill be 2 days ere I shall see you, so I leave you to your wisdom.
Sir, I can nothing say, but that I am your most obedient servant.
Come, no more of that.
And ever shall with true observance seek to eke out that wherein toward me my homely stars have failed to equal my great fortune.
Let that go. My haste is very great. Farewell, hie home.
Pray, sir, your pardon.
Well, what would you say?
I'm not worthy of the wealth I own, nor dare I say 'tis mine, and yet it is. But like a timorous thief, who's fain would steal what law does vouch mine own.
What would you have?
Something, and scarce so much. Nothing, indeed. I would not tell you what I would, my lord. Faith, yes. Strangers and foes do sunder and not kiss.
I pray you stay not, but in haste to horse.
I shall not break your bidding, good my lord.
Where are my other men, monsieur? Farewell. Go thou toward home, where I will never come, whilst I can shake my sword or hear the drum. Away, and for our flight.
Bravely, coraggio!
It had happened all as I would have it, save that he comes not along with her.
Madam, yonder is heavy news within between 2 soldiers and my young lady.
What is the matter?
Save you, good madam.
Madam, my lord is gone, forever gone.
Do not say so.
Think upon patience. Pray you, gentlemen. I have felt so many quirks of joy and grief that the first face of neither on the start can woman me unto it. Where is my son, I pray you?
Madam, he's gone to serve the Duke of Florence.
Look on his letter, madam. Here's my passport. when thou canst get the ring upon my finger, which never shall come off, and show me a child begotten of thy body that I am father to, then call me husband. But in such a then, I write a never. This is a dreadful sentence.
I prithee, lady, have a better cheer. If thou engrossest all the griefs are thine, thou robb'st me of a moiety. He was my son, but I do wash his name out of my blood, and thou art all my child. Towards Florence, is he?
Aye, madam.
And to be a soldier?
Such is his noble purpose.
Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. 'Tis bitter.
Find you that there?
Aye, madam.
'Tis but the boldness of his hand, haply, which his heart was not consenting to.
Nothing in France until he have no wife. There's nothing here that is too good for him, but only she. And she deserves a lord that 20 such rude boys might tend upon and call her hourly mistress. Who was with him?
A servant only, and a gentleman which I have sometime known.
Parolles, was it not?
Aye, my good lady, he.
A very tainted fellow and full of wickedness. My son corrupts a well-derived nature with his inducement.
Indeed, good lady.
You're welcome, gentlemen. I will entreat you, when you see my son, to tell him that his sword can never win the honor that he loses. More I'll entreat you written to bear along. Will you draw near?
Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. Nothing in France until he has no wife. Thou shalt have none, Rossillion, none in France. Then hast thou all again. Poor Lord, is't I that chase thee from thy country, and expose those tender limbs of thine to the event of the none-sparing war? And is it I that drive thee from the sportive court, where thou wast shot at with fair eyes to be the mark of smoking muskets? Come thou home, Rossillion, whence honor but of danger wins a scars, oft it loses all. I will be gone. My being here it is that holds thee hence. Shall I stay here to do? No, no. Although the air of paradise did fan the house, and angels officed all, I will be gone, that pitiful rumor may report my flight to consolate thine ear. Come night, end day, for with the dark, poor thief, I'll steal away.
Approach the city, we shall lose all the sight.
They say the French Count has done most honourable service in Florence.
It is reported that he has taken their greatest commander, and that with his own hand he slew the Duke's brother.
Well, Diana, take heed of this French earl. The honour of a maid is her name, and no legacy is so rich as honesty.
I have told my neighbour how you have been solicited by a gentleman, his companion.
I know that knave. Hang him. One Parole. A filthy officer he is in those suggestions for the young earl. Beware of them, Diana. Their promises, enticements, oaths, tokens, and all these engines of lust are not the things they go under. Many a maid hath been seduced by them, and the misery is example that so terrible shows in the wreck of maidenhood.
You shall not need to fear me.
I hope so. Look, here comes a pilgrim. I know she will lie at my house. Thither they send one another. I'll question her. God save you, pilgrim. Whither are you bound?
To St. Jacques-le-Grand. Where do the Palmers lodge, I do beseech you?
At the St. Francis here, beside the port.
Is this the way?
Aye, marriest. Hark you, they come this way. If you will tarry, good pilgrim, but till the troops come by, I will conduct you where you shall be lodged. The rather, for I think I know your hostess as ample as myself.
Is it yourself?
If you shall please so, pilgrim.
I thank you, and will stay upon your leisure.
You came, I think, from France.
I did so.
Here you shall see a countryman of yours that has done worthy service.
His name, I pray you?
The Count Rossillion. Know you such a one?
But by the year that hears most nobly of him, his face I know not.
Whatsoe'er he is, he's bravely taken here. He stole from France, as 'tis reported, for the king had married him against his liking. Think you it is so?
I surely near the truth. I know his lady.
There is a gentleman that serves the count, reports but coarsely of her.
What's his name?
Monsieur Parolles.
Oh, I believe with him in argument of praise, or to the worth of the great count himself, she is too mean to have her name repeated.
Alas, poor lady, 'tis a hard bondage to become the wife of a detesting lord.
I warrant, good creature, wheresoe'er she is, her heart weighs sadly. This young maid might do her a shrewd turn, if she pleased.
How do you mean? Maybe the amorous count solicits her in the unlawful purpose?
He does, indeed, and brokes with all the cunning such astute corrupt the tender honour of her maid. But she is armed for him and keeps her guard in honestest defence.
Gods forbid else.
So now they come.
With the plume, 'tis a most gallant fellow. I would he loved his wife. If he were honester, he were much goodlier. Is not a handsome gentleman.
I like him well.
'Tis pity he is not honest. Yon's that same knave that leads him to these places. Were I his lady, I would poison that vile rascal.
Which is he?
That jackanapes with scarves. Why is he melancholy?
Perchance he's hurt i' the battle.
Lose our drum. Where?
He's shrewdly vexed at something.
Look, he has spied us.
You!
Marry, and you.
And your courtesy for a ring carrier.
The troop is past. Come, pilgrim, I will bring you where you shall host.
I humbly thank you, and to requite you further, I will bestow some precepts of this virgin worthy the note.
Nay, good my lord, put him to it.
Do you think I am so far deceived in Parolles?
Believe it, my lord. In mine own direct knowledge, he's a most notable coward, an infinite and endless liar, an hourly promise breaker, the owner of no one good quality worthy your lordship's entertainment.
It were fit you knew him, lest reposing too far in his virtue, which he hath not, he might at some great and trusty business in a main danger fail you.
I would I knew in what particular action to try him.
None better than to let him fetch off his drum, which you hear him so confidently undertake to do.
I, with a troop of Florentines, will suddenly surprise him. Such I will have, whom I am sure he knows not from the enemy. We will bind and hoodwink him so that he shall suppose no other but that he is carried into the league of the adversaries when we bring him to our own tents. Be but your lordship present at his examination. If he do not, for the promise of his life, and in the highest compulsion of base fear, offer to betray you, and deliver all the intelligence in his power against you, and that with the divine forfeit of his soul upon oath, never trust my judgment in anything.
Oh, for the love of laughter, let him fetch his drum. He says he has a stratagem for it. Here he comes.
How now, monsieur?
Sir?
This drum sticks sorely in your disposition.
A pox on, let it go, 'tis but a drum.
But a drum. It's but a drum so lost.
Some dishonor we had in the loss of that drum, but 'tis not to be recovered.
No,
it is not.
It might have been recovered.
It might, but it is not now.
No, it is to be recovered. By the hand of a soldier, I will undertake it.
But you must not now slumber in it.
I'll about it this evening. I will presently pen down my dilemmas, encourage myself in my certainty, put myself into my mortal preparation, and by midnight look to hear further from me. Farewell. I I love not many words.
Is not this a strange fellow, my lord, that so confidently seems to undertake this business which he knows is not to be done?
If you misdoubt me that I am not she, I know not how I shall assure you further. The Count Rossillion is my husband, and what to your sworn counsel I have spoken is so from word to word.
I should believe you, for you have showed me that which well approves your great infortune.
Take this purse of gold, and let me buy your friendly help thus far, which I will overpay and pay again when I have found it. The Count, he woos your daughter, lays down his wanton siege before her beauty, resolved to carry her. Let her, in fine, consent, as we'll direct her how 'tis best to bear it. Now, this important blood will naught deny that she'll demand a ring the Count he wears. This ring he holds in most rich choice, yet in his idle fire to buy his will it would not seem too dear, howe'er repented after.
Now I see the bottom of your purpose.
You see it lawful, then. It is no more but that your daughter, ere she seems as one, desires this ring, appoints him an encounter, in fine delivers me to fill the time, herself most chastely absent. After this, to marry her, I'll add 3,000 crowns to what is past already.
I have yielded. Instruct my daughter how she shall persever. The time and place for this deceit so lawful may prove coherent. Every night he comes with music of all sorts, and songs composed to her unworthiness, as if his life lay on.
Why then, tonight let us essay our plot.
Your name was Fontibel.
No, my good lord, Diana.
Titled goddess, and worth it with addition. But fair soul, in your fine frame hath love no quality? If the quick fire of youth light not your mind, you are no maiden, but a monument. When you are dead, you should be such a one as you are now, for you are cold and stern. And now you should be as your mother was when your sweet self was got.
She then was honest.
So should you be.
No, my mother did but duty, such, my lord, as you owe to your wife.
No more of that. I prithee, do not strive against my vows. I was compelled to her, but I love thee by love's own sweet constraint, and will forever do thee all rights of service.
Aye, so you serve us till we serve you. But when you have our roses, you barely leave our thorns to prick ourselves and mock us with our bareness. Give me that ring.
I'll lend it thee, my dear, but have no power to give it from me.
Will you not, my lord?
It is an honor longing to our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy in the world in me to lose.
Mine honours such a ring. My chastity's the jewel of our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy of the world in me to lose. Thus your own wisdom brings in the champion honour on my part against your vain assault.
Here, take my ring. My house, mine honour, yea, my life be thine, and I'll be bid by thee.
When midnight comes, knock at my chamber window. I'll order take my mother shall not hear. Now will I charge you in the band of truth. When you have conquered my yet maiden bed, remain there but an hour, nor speak to me. My reasons are most strong, and you shall know them when back again this ring shall be delivered, and on your finger in the night I'll put another ring, that what in time proceeds may token to the future our past deeds. Adieu till then. Then fail not. You have won a wife of me, so there my hope be done.
A heaven on earth I have won by wooing thee.
He can come no other way but by this hedge corner. When you sally upon him, speak what terrible language you will, though you understand it not yourself, no matter. For we must not seem to understand him, unless some one among us whom we must produce for an interpreter.
Well, Captain, let me be the interpreter.
Art not acquainted with him? Knows he not thy voice?
No, sir, I warrant you.
But couch ho! Here he comes, to beguile 2 hours in a sleep, and then to return and swear the lies he forges.
Would I had a drum now of the enemy's. I'd swear I'd recovered it.
You shall hear one anon.
A drum now of the enemy's.
Troca, mimosas, cargo.
Ransom! Ransom, do not hide mine eyes.
Boscas, Romualdo, Boscas.
I know you are the Muscos regiment. Oh, and I shall lose my life for want of language. If there be here German, or Dane, Low Dutch, Italian, or French, let him speak to me. I'll discover that which shall undo the Florentine.
Boscas, Vado. I understand thee and can speak thy tongue. Caralibonto, sir. Betake thee to thy faith, for 17 poniards are at thy bosom.
Oh.
Pray.
Pray!
Ancora vogno dolci.
Oh, let me live. And all the secrets of our camp I'll show, their force, their purposes, nay, I'll speak that which you will wonder at.
But wilt thou faithfully?
If I do not, damn me.
Porto Tartarossa.
Oh.
He calls for the torches.
Oh.
What will you say without them?
I will confess what I know without constraint. Oh. If ye pinch me like a pasty, I can say no more.
Mosco Chicamarco?
Oblivindo Chicamorco.
You are a merciful general. Our general bids you answer to what I shall ask you out of a note.
And truly, as I hope to live.
First demand of him how many horse the Duke is strong. What say you to that?
5,000 or 6,000, but very weak and unserviceable. The troops are all scattered, and the commanders very poor rogues. Upon my reputation and credit, and as I hope to live.
Shall I set down your answer so?
Do. I'll take the sacrament on't how and which way you will.
All's one to him. You may. What a past-saving slave is this?
Poor rogues, I pray you say.
Well, that's set down.
I humbly thank you, sir. Truth to truth, the rogues are marvelous poor.
You shall demand of him whether one Captain Dumaine be in the camp, a Frenchman. Is this captain in the Duke of Florence's camp?
Upon my knowledge, he is, and lousy.
Nay, look not so upon me. We shall hear of your lordship anon.
What is his reputation with the Duke?
The Duke? The Duke knows him for no other but a poor officer of mine, and writ to me this other day to turn him out the band. I think I have his letter in my pocket.
Marry, we'll search.
In good sadness, I do not know. Either it is there, or it is upon a file with the Duke's other letters in my tent.
Oh, here it is. Here's a paper. Shall I read it to you?
I do not know if it be it or no.
Our interpreter does it well. Excellently.
Diane, the Count's a fool and full of gold.
That is not the Duke's letter, sir. That's an advertisement to a proper maid in Florence, one Diana, to take heed of the allurement of one Count Rossillion, a foolish, idle boy, but for all that, very rottish. I pray you, sir, put it up again.
Nay, I'll read it first, by your favour.
My meaning, and I protest, was very honest on behalf of the maid, for I knew the young Count to be a dangerous and lascivious boy, who is a whale to virginity, and devours up all the fry it finds.
Damnable both sides, rogue!
When he swears oaths, bid him drop gold and take it. After he scores, he never pays the score. Half won is match well made, match and well make it. He ne'er pays after debts, take it before. And say a soldier, Diane, told thee this, men are to mell with, boys are not to kiss. For count of this, the Count's a fool, I know it, who pays before, but not when he does owe it. Thine, as he vowed to thee in thine ear, Parolles.
He shall be whipped through the army with this rhyme in his forehead.
If your life be saved, will you undertake to betray the Florentine?
Aye, and the captain of his horse, Count Rossillion.
I'll whisper with the general and know his pleasure.
Oh, I'll no more drumming, a plague of all drumming.
There is no remedy, sir, but you must die.
Oh.
The general says you that have so traitorously discovered the secrets of your army and made such pestiferous reports of men very nobly held can serve the world for no honest use. Therefore you must die.
Oh.
Come, headsman, off with his head.
Oh, Lord, sir, let me live, or let me see my death.
That shall you, and take leave of all your friends. So, look about you. Know you any here?
Good morrow, noble captain. God bless you, Captain Parolles.
God save you, noble captain. Come. And fare you well.
You are undone, Captain. All but your scarf. There is a knot on it yet.
Who cannot be crushed with a plot?
If you could find out a country where but women were that had received so much shame, you might begin an impudent nation. Fare you well, sir. I'm for France. We shall speak of you there.
Yet am I thankful. If my heart were great, 'twould burst at this. Captain, I'll be no more, but I will eat and drink and sleep as soft as captain shall. Simply the thing I am shall make me live. Who knows himself a braggart, let him fear this, for it will come to pass that every braggart shall be found an ass. Rust sword, cool blushes, and parole live safest in shame, being fooled by foolery thrive. There's place and means for every man alive. I'll after him.
Dear Madam, I duly am informed his grace is at Rossillion, to which place we have convenient convoy. You must know I am supposed dead. The army breaking, my husband hies him home, where heaven aiding and by the leave of my good lord the king we'll be before our welcome.
Gentle madam, you never had a servant to whose trust your business was more welcome.
We must away, our wagon is prepared and time revives us. All's well that ends well. Still the fine's the crown, whate'er the course, the end is the renown.
No. Your son was misled with a snipped taffeta fellow there, whose villainous saffron would have made all the unbaked and doughy youth of a nation in his colour.
I would I had not known him. It was the death of the most virtuous gentlewoman that ever nature had praised for creating. If she had partaken of my flesh and cost me the dearest groans of a mother, I could not have owed her a more rooted love.
'Twas a good lady. 'Twas a good lady. We may pick 1,000 salads ere we light on such another herb.
We lost a jewel of her, and our esteem was made much poorer by it. But your son, as man in folly, lacked the sense to know her estimation home.
'Tis past, my liege, and I beseech your majesty to make it natural rebellion, done in the blaze of youth, when oil and fire too strong for reason's false, or bears it and burns on.
Well, call him hither.
My Lord Bertram!
We are reconciled, and the first view shall kill all repetition. The nature of his great offence is dead, and deeper than oblivion we do bury the incensing relics of it. Let him approach.
My high repented blames, dear sovereign, pardon to me. Contempt his scornful perspective did lend me, which warped the line of every other favor, extended or contracted all proportions to a most hideous object. Thence it came that she, whom all men praised, and whom myself, since I have lost, have loved, was in mine eye the dust that did offend it.
By my old beard and every hair that's on't, Helen that's dead was a sweet creature. That ring you wear, the last time ere I took her leave at court, I saw upon her finger.
Hers it was not.
Now, pray you, let me see it. For mine eye, while I was speaking of, was fastened to it. This ring was mine. And when I gave it Helen, I bade her, if her fortunes ever stood necessity to help, that by this token I would relieve her. Had you that craft to weave her of what should stead her most?
My gracious sovereign, However, it pleases you to take it so. The ring was never hers.
Son, all my life I've seen her wear it, and she reckoned it a life's rate.
I'm sure I saw her wear it.
She called the saints to surety that she would never put it from her finger unless she gave it to yourself in bed, where you have never come, or sent it us upon her great disaster.
She never saw it!
Thou speak'st it falsely as I love mine honour, and makest conjectural fears to come into me, which I would fain shut out. If it should prove that thou art so inhuman, oh, 'twill not prove so, and yet I know not, thou didst hate her deadly, and she is dead, which nothing but to close her eyes myself could win me to believe more than to see this ring. Take him away!
If you shall prove this ring was ever hers, you shall as easy prove that my husband did her bed in Florence, where yet she never was.
I am wrapped in dismal thinkings.
Gracious sovereign, here's a petition from a Florentine who hath for 4 or 5 removes come short to tender it herself. And she told me in a sweet verbal brief it did concern your highness with herself.
Upon his many protestations to marry me when his wife was dead, I blush to say it, he won me. Now is the Count Rossillion a widower, his vows are forfeited to me, and my honours paid to him. He stole from Florence, taking no leave, and I follow him to his country for justice. Granted me, O king, in you it best lies, otherwise a seducer flourishes and a poor maid is undone, Diana Capulet. Seek these suitors, go speedily and bring again the count. I am afeard the life of Helen, lady, was foully snatched.
Now justice on the doors.
I wonder, sirs, his wives are monsters to you, and that you fly them as you swear them lordship, yet you desire to marry. What woman's that?
I am, my lord, a wretched Florentine, derived from the ancient Capulet. My suitors, I do understand you know, and therefore know how far I may be pitied.
I am her mother, sir, whose age and honour both suffer under this complaint we bring, and both shall cease without your remedy.
Let me go. Come hither, Count. Know you these women?
My lord, I neither can nor will deny but that I know them. Do they charge me further?
Why do you look so strange upon your wife?
She's none of mine, my lord.
Good my lord, ask him upon his oath, if he does think he had not my virginity.
What sayest thou to her?
She's impudent, my lord, and was a common gamester to the camp.
Do not believe him. Oh, behold this ring, whose high respect and rich validity did lack a parallel. Yet for all that he gave it to a commoner of the camp, if I be one.
He blushes, and 'tis it. Of 6 preceding ancestors, that gem conferred by testament to the sequent issue hath it been owed and worn. This is his wife, that rings 1,000 proofs.
Send for your ring, I will return it home, and give me mine again.
I have it not.
What ring was yours, I pray you?
Sir, much like the same upon your finger.
Know you this ring? This ring was his of late.
And this was it I gave him, being a bed.
Where did you buy it, or who gave it you?
It was not given me, nor I did not buy it.
Who lent it you?
It was not lent me neither.
Where did you find it then?
I found it not.
If it were yours by none of all these ways, how could you give it him?
I never gave it him.
This woman's an easy glove, my lord. She goes off and on at pleasure.
This ring was mine. I gave it his first wife.
It might be yours or hers, for aught I know.
Take her away. I do not like her now. To prison with her and away with him.
Good mother, fetch my bail. Stay, royal sir. The jeweller that owes the ring is sent for.
Helen, is't real that I see?
No, my good lord. 'Tis but the shadow of a wife you see. The name, and not the thing.
Both. Pardon.
Oh, good lord, when I was like this maid, I found you wondrous kind. There is your ring. And look you, here's your letter. This it says. When from my finger you can get this ring, and are by me with child, this is done. Will you be mine, now you are doubly won?
If she, my liege, can make me know this clearly, I'll love her dearly, ever, ever dear.
the step between me and you.
All yet seems well, and if it end so meet, the bitter past, more welcome is the sweet.